And now Rayview Elementary School is represented by Sandra Patton, who is their Parent-Teacher Association President.
Hello. First, I want to tell you that Rayview Elementary is, by any measure, a fantastic school. Rayview is a school to be proud of, not just in Waxhaw or Union County, but in all of North Carolina, as an example of how great a public elementary school can be. We are very proud of Rayview's success, and we have worked very hard for it. My message for you tonight is very simple. We cannot continue to maintain Rayview's standard of academic achievement or standard of service to students and families with further budget reductions. Since opening in 2007, Rayview has lost a guidance counselor, an assistant principal, approximately 25% of our teacher assistants, our media assistant, and foreign language. These staffing reductions have been absorbed while our student enrollment has remained comparable. At Rayview, we have the support of dedicated parents who volunteer in our school every day and a PTA that is successful at fundraising, but we still cannot overcome these budget shortfalls, these staffing reductions caused by budget shortfalls. For Rayview's teachers, the combined impacts of staffing reductions, loss of true teacher work days, the financial impacts of 4 years of frozen pay and increased benefits costs have been painful beyond what is reasonable. These impacts have been especially profound at the elementary level. At Rayview, current funding and allocation of specialty area teachers provides our teachers with approximately 40 minutes of training time 3 times a week. The addition of 5 days to the school calendar has resulted in teacher work days being used for required mandatory training has left our teachers with no time to do other very important aspects of their jobs, such as conduct conferences with parents, complete report cards, plan lessons, organize instructional materials, analyze and record assessment information, and more. Without work days, this is increasingly done after hours, and at Rayview, for the first time in 5 years, we have had parent conferences on weekends. Our teachers have reached the tipping point where financial constraints and the constant pressure to do more with less support is not sustainable. I can tell you with confidence that teacher work days are absolutely necessary without the requirement of mandatory training at Rayview. While some charts might indicate that overall funding for public schools has remained the same, the fact remains that discretionary give back of a portion of the budgets given to the schools when asked to be returned to the state and the loss of the federal EduJobs funding has continued to reduce the net funding amount our schools receive. Other reports use the justification for school budget reductions that the overall state budget has shrunk during the recession and that the percentage of funding for schools has remained constant. This is not an excuse to cut the education budget for another year. North Carolina ranks 41st in our nation in teacher compensation. Further budget reductions will dramatically impact our teachers' ability to perform in the classroom or to remain in the profession. At Rayview, the facts are clear that funding and staffing levels have steadily declined. 4 years of budget cuts have already affected every student, teacher, staff member, and administrator at Rayview. My message to you again is that we can't continue our level of academic achievement with additional cuts. The breaking point is here. There is not a road, a prison, a hospital, or any other funding at the state level that is more important than funding for education, because this is our future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now, Sandy Ridge Elementary School's PTA President Valerie Seck will speak on the hospital.
Good evening. I'm Valerie Seck, Sandy Ridge Elementary School's PTA President. Assemblyman Horn, Senator Tucker, thank you for graciously attending tonight's meeting. And Chairwoman Johnson, it is a privilege to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. I'm here tonight in support of our school's talented teaching team, the undeniable tour de force behind our school's high ranking in North Carolina. Many of our educators hold advanced degrees, national board certification, and a passion for their work. However, unlike I mentioned at Marvin, I've noticed at Sandy Ridge there's been a tremendous drop in morale this year for 3 reasons: declining pay, longer hours, and slated job cuts for next year. We've all heard you can't get rich in teaching. That is certainly true in North Carolina, which, as Sandra mentioned, ranks in the bottom 10 states for teacher salaries. For example, a new teacher in North Carolina gets hired at about $30,000, and a teacher who has taught here for, one second, bear with me, thank you. A teacher who's taught here for 30 years will make about $50,000. So just to give you an idea of what our educators are living off of. Keep in mind that despite the success of our schools, our teachers receive no merit bonuses. And those with higher degrees have seen their stipend cut each year. While the salaries have remained frozen for the past 4 years, everything else has gone up. We all know this. Health benefits have gone up for teachers, gas, classroom supplies. In essence, our educators have taken a pay cut. In addition, teachers were notified that they won't receive most of their salary in August. This will be especially difficult for families where both spouses are educators. Mortgage payments don't stop because the pay schedule changed. Despite receiving less compensation, teachers continue to reach into their own pockets for our children. For a special education teacher at Sandy Ridge, this means buying t-shirts and underwear for when the kids have accidents, art and cooking supplies, and classroom essentials like pencils and paper. For the mainstream teachers, this means buying lesson materials, everything from books to night crawlers for the worm farms, frogs food, the apples for the science experiments our kids do. I don't think you realize how much our teachers pay for it right out of their pocket. And the startup supplies in August are particularly difficult when teachers purchase name tags, supply baskets, posters, bulletin board materials, and all of the other things that go into starting the classroom. So, while teaching attracts people, who give in their hearts, in reality, they also give in their wallets. Teachers also give a lot of their time. At our elementary school, like what Sandra mentioned, we only get 40 minutes of planning a few days a week. Teachers often use this time to clean up spills, find lost articles of clothing, sharpen pencils, take a bathroom break, concepts. They don't really have a lot of time to do the things that we know that they are doing. So they work many hours after school and on the weekends. They correct homework, prepare lessons, collect data for performance plans, and much more. Teachers routinely take report cards home over Thanksgiving break, spring break. During the summer, teachers attend workshops and meet with their grade level colleagues to prepare for the start of the year and to create lessons because they have to integrate technology and globalization here in Union County. With larger class sizes, less or no teacher aides, and 5 additional days of instruction next year, teachers will need to give much more time just to stay abreast of the increasing amounts of paperwork required by the county. So while the state considers teaching a 10-month job, in reality, teaching is a 12-month job that requires long hours. Due to these factors, we at Sandy Ridge will lose some of our finest teachers at the end of the school year. In fact, Sandy Ridge lost a teacher last week. Mr. Webb, your students miss you. Respected legislators, please consider the educators of our future leaders a top priority for the state budget. And truly, it is a rare opportunity to interact with one's elected officials, and your willingness to make tonight's event a reality is noted by all and appreciated. Thank you very much.